Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and a couple of videos ago I made homemade butter and buttermilk out of heavy whipping cream. Now there were a few people that argued in the comments that the buttermilk I made was not actually buttermilk. It is buttermilk. It's just not cultured buttermilk, which means you're not able to use it in recipes that you would traditionally use buttermilk in. So in this video we are going to culture some buttermilk so that it is comparable to what we would buy in the store. We're also going to use our buttermilk to create creme fraiche, which is kind of like sour cream, but better for certain cooking applications. I have a confession to make. I recorded this entire video without my mic turned on, so I'm reshooting portions, and there are portions where there's going to be sort of obvious overdubs. Sorry about that. In terms of culturing your own buttermilk, you're going to see how it's done and then probably say, why? Why would you do that? You're just using buttermilk to create more buttermilk. And I would say that the only reason you would probably want to do this is if you were doing butter making and buttermilk making on a regular basis, say once every week or two. In that case, having your own homemade cultured buttermilk is sort of like having a sourdough starter. You can just keep using it to create the next batch of buttermilk. But aside from that, this first portion is really more just a little bit of food science. We'll start by adding 2 tablespoons of cultured buttermilk to a pint jar. This can be either store-bought or our own homemade buttermilk. Then we'll fill up the rest of the jar with milk. This can be the leftover buttermilk from our butter making process. We'll screw on a cap, give it a good shake, and then we'll let this sit on the counter for the next 24 hours at room temperature, about 72 degrees Fahrenheit. I have on the right some store-bought cultured buttermilk, and on the left, a batch of homemade that I made a couple days ago. So first, the smell. The store-bought definitely has that sort of tang type of a smell to it. Not the instant orange drink, but rather sort of a sour, sharp smell to it. My homemade, the smell reminds me a lot more of kefir, or kefir. I don't know how to pronounce it, honestly. In terms of texture, the homemade is much, much thicker now. The store-bought tastes kind of like drinking the juice off of cottage cheese. I mean, it really has a very cottage cheesy sort of taste. And the homemade? That is very thick. It's got sort of a cool mouth coating property about it, which makes me wonder if this would work even better than store-bought buttermilk if you were doing some sort of a breading on a chicken breast. Of course, it wouldn't be bread for us keto folk. It would be probably pork rind panko. In terms of flavor, I would say it does taste a little bit more buttery than the store-bought, and it does have that little bit of kefir sort of taste to it as well. Not at all unpleasant. Creme fraiche is one of those ingredients probably most of us have seen in the dairy section, not really known what it was for, but did notice that it was kind of expensive. You'll use creme fraiche for a lot of the same applications you might use sour cream on, where you don't want that sour to steal the show. Unlike sour cream, which becomes grainy when cooked or used in a sauce, creme fraiche dissolves perfectly, nice and creamy. To a 1-pint jar, we will add 3 tablespoons of cultured buttermilk. Again, this can be store-bought or our own homemade. We'll fill the rest of the jar with heavy whipping cream. Screw on a cap, give it a good shake, and then we'll let this set at room temperature, about 72 degrees Fahrenheit, for 24 hours. To test out how both sour cream and creme fraiche perform under heat, we're going to make sort of a little quick and dirty stroganoff sauce with some beef broth. Our broth is boiling, so we'll add a scoop of sour cream. We'll whisk this together. So, as you can see, even after whisking, basically we just have a bunch of sour cream grit floating around. Not awesome. Same experiment, this time with the creme fraiche. And you can see the creme fraiche dissolved without leaving any of that graininess, just adding a nice cream to our sauce. We're going to do a taste test comparison, straight up, sour cream versus some creme fraiche I made the other day. First, the sour cream. I love sour cream. I think if you're trying to figure out if keto is the right diet for you, if you can imagine yourself sitting down and eating an entire tub of sour cream in one sitting, yeah, keto's probably right for you. And now the homemade creme fraiche. Out of the jar, definitely thicker. Not as thick as cream cheese, kind of seems a little bit like frosting in terms of the thickness. The taste is much more neutral than sour cream. It doesn't have that sharp edge to it. It's just very creamy tasting with just a tiniest little tiny bit of sour. We can also make a super easy frosting out of creme fraiche. Again, I'm just going to take a scoop here. Little squirt of vanilla cream stevia. Whisk together with my little baby whisk. And we'll give it a taste. Oh, that's good. Even though the creme fraiche was thicker right out of the jar than the sour cream, it really thinned out quite nicely as I mixed it. The texture is somewhere between a whipped cream and a sour cream. And the taste, I'd also say, is somewhere between whipped cream and sour cream. I think this would be absolutely delightful on top of some berries. And the cool thing is, make it however you want it. If you want to throw in some chocolate stevia, do that. If you've got some dehydrated berry powder, you can put that in, sort of make a blueberry type of a sauce or frosting to put on a keto waffle. I think there's a lot of possibilities with this. So there you go, 2 more things you can do with cream/buttermilk. Now, are you actually going to make your own cultured buttermilk? Is it worth it? Probably not. But at least now you know how to do it if you want to. Creme fraiche, on the other hand, this is a winner. This is going to be a regular staple in my fridge, and probably should be in yours too. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button. If you want to see more videos like this and aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell if you want to be notified whenever I release a new video. And if you'd like to support the Serious Keto channel, click that join button and take a look at what some of the options are. No obligation. Thanks for watching.